may be thinking to yourself, I got my schedule. I got this Mr. Graham guy. Who is this Mr. Graham guy anyway? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm a teacher. This is my 16th year teaching at Upper Perk. For many years I taught biology. I do teach a little bit of biology, but mostly I teach environmental science now, and I absolutely love it. I teach academic environmental and also AP environmental science. I'm also a student. I'm currently taking a master's program at the University of Illinois, and it's online. I actually visited there just recently and got to see my campus after taking classes for a couple of years online, but I'm working on a master's in natural resources and environmental science. And I'm currently doing a capstone project involving a year's worth of water testing around the reservoir to try to see if we can pinpoint where the nutrient pollution is coming from into the reservoir. So it's a very extensive project, but it's really exciting. I'm a family man. This is my family here. This is my wife, my son Jake, and my daughter Amelia. Jake graduated from Lehigh with a master's in civil engineering, structural engineering. So now he's working as a structural engineer, building big giant buildings and things. My daughter Amelia is a plastics engineering technology major at Penn State Behrend in Erie. This is the two of them at Lake Erie. And this is my dog Milo. My wife and I have been married for 24 years. And we live in the hills up in Bartow. I'm an outdoorsman more than anything. I love to be hunting, fishing, kayaking, hiking, anything I can do to get outside. There's some fish and some things that I've caught and some places that I've been. I'm generally just a naturalist. I love exploring my property. I have about 6.5 acres of property, and these are all things that I've seen at my property, except the lake. That's Green Lane Reservoir. I do have a stream on my property that has wild trout in it. And like I said, all of these are things that I've seen. I do run groups going to the Pennsylvania Envirothon, which is an environmental competition based on your knowledge of nature and the environment. In 2022, we actually won the local Montgomery County competition and went to the state competition. So that was kind of cool. I, for many years, was a coach and a scoutmaster. I played soccer all through high school from about age 8 up through college. I played in college, and then I played in men's leagues afterwards. And I coached for about 15 years in a bunch of different teams and leagues. This is me with my daughter in Belgium when we took a trip to Europe. And this is my scout troop on a canoe trip and a trip down to Washington. I was a scoutmaster for about 15 years and had a lot of Eagle Scouts come through. I'm an Eagle Scout myself. I'm the advisor for the ECC. This is part of why I don't coach or run scout troops anymore, because I'm so busy with ECC. It stands for Environmental Conservation Club. It's absolutely a club you can enjoy. We do so many things. You can see them all here on this page here. Hikes, rock climbing, kayak trips, canoe trips, local service activities, building bird boxes, bee houses, recycling, stream cleanups, all kinds of stuff. We have one meeting a month at the school, and we try to do a whole bunch of different outdoor activities if we can. So ask me about it if you're interested. It's really easy to join and just see what you can get involved with. I'm also a traveler. I love traveling. These are all pictures of places where I've been. Recently, I took a trip where I took students to Mexico with a research group. It was a research trip. We spent a week in the jungle, camping in tents, going out with a different researcher each day, collecting data for biodiversity research, looking for tracks, mist netting for birds, catching bats, that sort of stuff. We got to go to some Mayan ruins. It was in the Yucatan Peninsula. And then we went back to the beach and spent a week on the beach learning to scuba dive and helping out with sea turtle research in the Gulf of Mexico. In the process of organizing another trip that in 2023 will go to the island of Dominica in the Caribbean and do pretty much the same thing. This past summer, I drove with my daughter clear across to California because she has an internship at Tesla. So here's some pictures of me on that trip. There's the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. There's me at Canyonlands National Park in Arizona. There's me at the Golden Gate Bridge. There's me at the summit of Pikes Peak, which is over 14,000 feet in height. There's the drive across Nevada on Route 50, which is considered to be the loneliest road in America. This is basically what it looks like the whole way across. I think I saw a dozen cars. And here's me in Sequoia National Park. That's me standing next to some of these giant sequoias. This was my favorite part of the entire trip. It's one of my favorite places I've ever been. I got to see the largest organism on Earth. It's a big sequoia tree called General Sherman, and it's 36 feet across at its base, over 2,000 years old, so that was pretty amazing. When I'm not out traveling or getting outside, I love to watch movies and sports. I don't watch much else on TV other than movies and sports, but you can see some of the movies that I'm really into. Lord of the Rings. I'm excited about the series coming out. That's probably my favorite set of movies. I love monster movies, even if it's in cartoons, all kinds of different comedies and everything, and I love Marvel. Pretty much anything that Marvel puts out I love, as well as Star Wars. Last of the Mohicans is probably one of my all-time favorite movies. But I'm also a really big Eagles fan and a 76ers fan, and I do love to watch soccer. I played for so long. I'm kind of a Chelsea fan because Christian Pulisic, who's an American, plays there. It's a pretty big deal. And I'm real excited for the World Cup coming up, and an American's going to be in that. I'm really into music and art as well. I was an art major. I studied science illustration when I first went to college. I would have been illustrating biology textbooks, medical journals, and things. So I'm really into like impressionist artists, and as well as lots of different music. I'm going to a Silver Sun Pickups concert in a couple of months. These are some of the bands I really enjoy. Some kind of newer alternative stuff, Death Cab for Cutie, Manchester Orchestra, things like that, Rufus Du Sol, as well as, in the old days, I was a big hair bands guy. I loved White Lion and, Warrant and Winger and that sort of stuff, but always been a big classic rock kind of Rush, Journey, Boston, Yes, Genesis kind of a guy as well. So more than happy to talk to you about any of this stuff, music, art, travel, get to know you guys, and feel free to ask me questions at any time.